In today's video, we are going to be making this little octopus. We're using this Kismet plush velvet yarn together with this. It's also a Kismet, feels like cashmere. This is the waves one. I'm actually using a slightly different color together with that, and I'm going to be using 2 strands at a time. And because I'm using 2 strands, I'm going to be using it slightly larger than recommended, obviously, of just the Kismet, which is a 6. I'm going to be using an 8mm hook, as well as I'm going to be needing a needle at the end there to sew it together a little bit. And embarrassingly, I cannot find a pair of scissors of all the 5 pairs of scissors I have, so I have my nail clippers as my scissors this morning. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to start by undoing it here, and we're going to, as I said, work with 2 strands together. So let's put them together like that and do everything exactly as you would, just with 2 strands instead of the 1. So we're going to start by doing a magic ring. Under, over, pull through. If that's still a little bit tricky, either go and quickly check the tutorial or just do the chain 4 and then slip stitch back into the first chain that you made and use that as your ring. But once you've got your circle, okay, we're just closing it there, and from then on we're going to do 6 single crochets into our magic ring, starting with 6. Just working with the 2 threads together, and it's pretty cool to seeing that our second, the cashmere one, is the variegated. It's quite cool to see the colors change. 1, 2, 3, 4 as you go, 5 and 6. We're just going to work in the round, so there's no slip stitching to the first one. And closing this plushie, you've got to be a little bit gentle. Maybe pull them one at a time, because it does break if you pull too hard. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the first round done. And as I mentioned, we're going to go straight into the second round without a slip stitch. So there it is there. Into the first stitch. And the second round, you can pretty much work without a stitch marker. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? There we go, 1. But I would definitely recommend from round 3 to grab a stitch marker and let that help you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it is quite tight, which is what you want with amigurumi. You want the stitches to be tight so that you don't get stuffing poking through. And here's the last one here, 11 and 12. Okay, so that is round 2 of our circle. Look how nice it looks. And from the third round, as I mentioned, we're going to start with the stitch marker. So let's do our first stitch. Grab the stitch marker and put it in. We know where we started. And then the pattern for round 3 is 1 stitch into the first, 2 into the second. Repeat. So 1 into the next, 2 into the next, 1, 2, give the wool a tug, what did I just say? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and the last set. At the end of this round, you'll have 18 stitches. We should have 18 stitches. Starting with 6, you go to 12, and then to 18. There's your single, and look at that color change. Just gives the whole toy interest, more interest. It's just an added layer of interest, which I find so lovely. Okay, so there's round 3, and then the pattern for round 4 is 2 single crochets. So let's do our first and put the stitch marker back. Do another one, another single, and then our double. And that's the pattern for this round. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Be careful not to skip any stitches. And you know, if you end on a double, if you're doing it like I am with the singles first, you probably are on the right track. And at the end of this round, you should have 24 stitches. Oh, see, now I'm losing count. 1, 2. Yeah, so that's the pattern for this round. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay, let's do this, and I will see you when we finish this round. Okay, as I mentioned, if you finish with a double, you probably know you're on the right track there. And look at those lovely color changes there. That's so lovely. I didn't mention what color this plushie is, and it doesn't actually have a color. It's number 7, but it's a nice sort of grayish color. Beautiful. Okay, so the pattern for the next round is 3 singles and a double. So let's do our first single. I'll put the marker in, do our second one, third, and then our double. So each round adds up to 5, and you're going to be doing 6 of them on each round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at the end of this round you'll have 30 stitches. So the circle is increasing. Okay, so 3 singles and then a double all the way around, and I'll meet up with you when we've all done that. We've done 6 of those. End of the 5th round, and we've got our 30 stitches, and we are going to go on to the next round. And the pattern for that, you've guessed it, we do 4 singles before we do our double. So there's our first stitch marker, 2, 3, 4, and then we do our 2. So our total of each little bit, little set, comes to 6, and you're doing 6 of those. So at the end we should have 36 stitches, increasing by 6 each time, as you've probably seen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and finish with that pattern for that round. End of round 6, we will have 36 stitches, and you can stop now. It depends how big you want your octopus to be. You can make it as big as you want. You can make it a giant one, and you would just continue with this pattern, just increasing with 1 single as you go round. The next round would be 5 singles and then a double. which I think I might do. I think I'm going to do one more round. So let's take that out and let's do our first one. So it's 5 singles and then a double. So each set will be 7. 7 times 6, 42. And yeah, that's the biggest I'm going to go before I start turning it into a circle. But as I said, you can carry on. You can carry on doing 6 and then a double, 7 and a double, 8, 9, as big as you want. You can make this giant octopus. It just then, you would have to do a few more rows in the middle just to make it into a ball. But let's just do this quickly. We are doing 5 and then a double, and then we'll flatten out, or shall I say we'll start turning it into a circle. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at these colors. I like these flecks of color. 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to carry on with that, and we'll have 42 at the end of this 7th round. End of round 7, we've got 42 stitches, and the blues come in, and look at all those lovely different colors. Loving it so much. But now, from now on, we're going to stop increasing. You are welcome to carry on. You can make it as large as you like. But from now on, I am going to just maintain this size. So I'm going to be doing 1 single crochet into each for 5 rounds. So, let's put the stitch marker in. Very useful to know where you started. 1, 2. Okay, so for 5 rounds, just carry on doing 1 single crochet into each before we start decreasing. And you know, if you can, I say 5 rounds, and that will make it into quite a circle. But if you wanted to make it a bit longer, like this one, I mean, it's really up to you. This one, you can play around, you can make it longer, and then each one can be unique. It doesn't need to be a perfect circle. I mean, this is quite a circle here. This one's a longer one. So it's really up to you what shape you want your octopus to be. But for this one, I'm going to do 5 rounds before I start decreasing. It probably, I mean, you could do 4 as well, but I think 5, it's going to lengthen it by just 1. So 5 rounds, and then we're going to start decreasing. All right. And also you can see, just to mention quickly, I say it's a circle, but it's actually more of a hexagon shape. It's not a perfect circle, but you won't see that. Once you start rounding it off, it'll make a nice ball. All right, so let's do our 5 rounds of 1 single crochet in each, and I'll show you what it looks like when I have done that. Here we are. We've done the 5 rounds after the increases, and it's time to decrease. So here we are at the beginning, and to decrease, we're going to do 4 single crochets and then a decrease. Okay, so let's do our first one and put in the marker. Okay, 2, 3 and 4. And then over the next 2 stitches we're going to decrease, and this plushie wool is very forgiving. You can do an invisible decrease into the front loop, into the next front loop, and single crochet. But it actually, you don't really notice the other kind of decrease with this plushie wool. So we can do invisible decreases, or you can just do a normal decrease. So let's show you what just the other one looks like. 2, 3, 4. And you can see I'm pulling it tight after each stitch just to make it have no gaps in between for the stuffing to poke through. And then this is the other decrease. You just go through both, pull through into the next one, pull through, round, and pull through all 3. Okay, so it's maybe a little bit more visible. So you decide what you want to do. You can do the invisible one, which I'll show you again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now for the invisible decrease, you just go through the front loops. So front loop only, round, and single crochet. Okay, and you're going to do that all the way around, either the invisible or going through both sides. It's up to you, but every 4 stitches you're going to do a decrease. I'm just alternating here with the different decreases at the moment. And your piece will decrease by 6 stitches. Okay, I'm going to carry on and do the rest. 4 single crochets and then a decrease, whichever one you prefer. We finished that row, and you can see how it's starting to fold over slightly. You should have 36 stitches now, so we are rounding off our circle. Okie dokie, and now we are going to do another row of decreases, and we're going to do 3 single crochets before the decrease. So 1, 2, 3. What I didn't do was put in the marker. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and then decrease. Pull it tight, not too tight, but just you can do it so you don't have to actually crochet so tight. 1, 2, and 3, and you'll decrease. Okay, all the way around, and you will decrease your work by another 6 stitches, bringing it down to 30. So you can see how it's closed even further. And remember, this is your unique creation. It actually goes this way like this. You can decide if you wanted to, what shape you want it to be. If you want to make it longer, you just stop decreasing for now, and you'll do a few rows of just 1 in each. You make it longer shape. But if you're wanting to make it rounder, then you carry on with the decreasing. The only thing is you need to get to 16 stitches before we start with the legs. So now we are currently on 36. We need to do another couple rows of decreasing before we get to the legs. But I could, in the meantime, I could do a decrease row and then a maintenance row, a decrease row, maintenance to make it longer. But play around. It's actually really fun trying to decide what shape you like it to be. But if I were to just to carry on with the decreasing, I've done the 3 decrease. Now I'm going to do a 2 decrease. Or you could do a maintenance round of 1 into each, whatever you feel. But we need to do another few rows of decreasing before we add the legs. Okay, so now your next decrease will be 2 single crochets and then a decrease. 1 and 2, either the invisible one, which you go into only the front loops, but the front loops will still have 2 strands in each. Oopsie. And you'll do that all the way around. And we'll be almost there. Okay, 1, 2, and decrease all the way around. And then for our last decrease round, we're just going to do 1 single crochet, and try and find my marker, and then the decrease. So 1 single crochet, decrease 1, decrease 1, all the way around, and we will be ready to add on our legs. Okay, so 1 decrease. This is decreases quite a lot obviously in this round. Okay, I'll meet you at the end of this round. It's nearly closed up, and we can take this opportunity to fill it with stuffing. I've got this synthetic stuffing, and we're going to make it quite firm, and you will be surprised how much can fit in here. You don't want it to be too soft, you want it to be firm. So yeah, put in some stuffing. As I said, quite a lot fits in there, and in the last second we can put in a little bit more, but there we go, that seems good for now. Okay, right, now we are going to do the legs, and to do the legs we can actually take the stitch marker out. Okay, to do the legs, we're going to chain 17. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, and once again, this is your creation, so if you want to make the legs longer or shorter, that's completely up to you. But how we're going to do these legs is we're going to start with single crochets, and so you miss the first one and you go into the second one, and we're going to put 2 into each of the first few. So 1, 2 single crochets into the first stitch, then we're going to put 2 single crochets into the second stitch, we're going to put 2 into the third, and 2 into the fourth. Okay, because we're putting 2 into each, you can see it's curling, so the end of the leg will be curled like this. Oh, can you see? There we go. All right, and then let's just untangle this a bit. For oopsie daisy, this is very tangled. We're going to do some half doubles, so into the very next one we're going to just do 1 half double, and remember, half double, yarn over into the stitch, pull through on your hook there, yarn over, and you go through all 3. Okay, we're going to do another 3. Oopsie. In, pull through, round, pull through 3, in, pull through, round, pull through 3. All right, so far we haven't added any extra texture, and we can take the opportunity now to do that. I'm going to use this silver fluffy sort of eyelash yarn, and all you do is you drop the one, so we're going to drop this thin one and just leave it out for now, and you add in this one together with the plushie, making it look, and you just carry on with the new thread. So there we go. Let's do a couple and get it really mixed in there nicely. Okay, and yeah, let's cut this off, it's getting in the way. So we've done the first 4 with 2 single crochets in each, the next 6 with 1 half double in each, and then the last 6 we're going to do 1 double in each, so it gets a little bit thicker as you go down the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more, there's the next one there, 5, and the very last stitch right at the bottom here, yarn over into the last stitch and do the last double. Okay, now we need to attach the leg, so we're going to see, we're in this stitch here, we're going to skip and go into the next one. Now it doesn't matter too much if you've got 17 stitches or 18 stitches, don't panic too much, just spread them out nicely, so that you actually fit your 8 legs around. So into the front loop only, you're going to do a slip stitch to attach your leg, and immediately from there do your next 17 stitches. And I haven't been counting, so let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now you can carry on and you can use the same fluffy wool for all the legs, or you can switch it up, find another shade, another texture, another color, whatever you would like to do. It is your unique creation, so yeah, you do whatever you think. I'm going to stick with this one for now. Remember, if you're doing a single crochet, you only skip the first stitch. So here we're going to go into that one there, and we're going to do 2 to make the end of the leg curl. First 4 are going to be curly, well, with 2 singles in each. Okay, let's see, where are we? Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to see. 3, back in the same one, 4 into the 3rd stitch, 5, 6, and the last single, the last 2 singles, should I say, 1 and 2. Okay, then we're on to the half doubles. Just feel around with your finger. It really helps to feel for the next stitch. When you're using the 2 strands, having the thicker, like the normal cotton or the normal wool helps you to be able to feel nicely, and to it's easier to see the stitches. But here we've got the plushie with this fluffy stuff, and it's actually it's more difficult to see the stitches. So just feel with your finger, and you can put your thumb right in the middle of that stitch and go into it. It helps a lot to be able to feel where the stitches are. There we go. And pull it apart and have a look. I think that was 3. I'll double check now. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there should be 6 left, so let's do a quick check and see. Oopsie. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so the last 6 are doubles. Pull through 2, pull through 2 into the next one, pull through 2, pull through 2. And I think I'm going to change this fluffy wool just for another texture when I start the next leg. And that's what makes them all so unique. You probably won't find 2 the same, which is awesome. Because some are slightly longer, some are rounder, different colors, different textures. You make it exactly as you would like it. Okay, let's see here. We've got 2 stitches left, have we? Yep. Or 1. Just the 1 left. Okay. The last double. And attach it. Skip a stitch. We're going to attach it to this one here. Into the front loop only. And oops, we only taken the 1 thread. We need 2, the plushie and the other wool, and we do a slip stitch. Okay, and straight on to the next leg. Remember, you're going to do 17 chains, skip 1, 4 singles into the first 4, should I say 2 singles into the first 4, then you're going to do 6 half doubles and 6 doubles. And then you get to the end and attach it, and you need to fit obviously 8 legs around, so carry on until you've got 8 legs. Okay, I'll show you in a second what that looks like. Okay, we have all the legs on, as you can see there, following that pattern, but we've got a big gaping hole in the middle which we need to fix. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Nice sensory legs. Very nice. All right, so what we do now is we have to close up this gap. So let's find where we left off. I've just taken my hook out, and where was it? Let's follow the trail of the end. There we go. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's put it into, I've cut off the fluffy one. So I'm just going to, I'll work with it for a bit, but we're just working with the velvety plushy yarn. All right, so I've chained 1, make it tight, and now we're going to close the hole. Let's turn, and because we've worked in the front loops of to make the legs, we should have the back loops to work with to close it, but it is pretty hard to see what's what, so you're going to go by feel and look. Okay, so here we go. So in this first round, we're just going to do 1 single crochet into each. So here's 1. Remember, you feel your way, make a plan. See, there's the next one there. just one single crochet all the way around, and in the next round we're going to use those stitches to close it up. Pull tight after each one, well, not too tight, but to pull it. There's the next one. That's 3. Look for the next one. There it is. 4. 5. 6. Usually let your fingers help you find the next stitch. You should be able to see it, and just pull things back and have a good look. And even if you haven't used the front loops, you should still be fine to find a stitch to use. But this does make it quite a bit easier if you use the front loops only to put the legs on. Okay. Next one. Okay, and we're nearly all the way around. There we go. Just make some, open it up, make it visible. Okay, let's have a see where we are. A couple more stitches. And of course, if you put your marker in, it would be much easier to see where you are. But we are nearly done. You will see now that where you started. Okay, last one. Right, so now in round 2, we're going to close it up. We've just given us some space with those extra steps. But before we close it up completely, we're going to put some more stuffing in. You want it to be quite firm. It's still very squishy. So let's find some more synthetic. Okay, here we go. Put it in. Put it around the sides. Put it in where you can. And as I said, you will be surprised how much you can fit in there. Okay, so depending on how firm you want it, that should do the trick, I think. All right, so this next round, we're going to close it up. And we're going to do that by alternating a single crochet with a decrease. All right, so let's have a look here. Here's your single crochet. And here we are going to put in a stitch marker to make our lives easier. Okay, there we go. And then the next 2, we're going to pick up stitch, pull through, pick up the next stitch, pull through. You've got 3 on your hook and through. Okay, then you've made 2 into 1. Find the next one. There we go. One. Let's close this one here. There's one, and here's the next one. The disadvantage of all this fluffy stuff is that it possibly makes things a little bit trickier to see the stitches, but not too bad. Just go one at a time and don't panic. Just do the next stitch ahead. Okay, so here we've got a decrease. And this gap is closing up quickly. Just a single and another decrease. And the advantage also, well, an advantage, is that it's quite forgiving. This plushie yarn, you don't really see too many errors because there is quite a lot going on. I mean, not that you're wanting to make any on purpose, but if you do, it is very forgiving. You don't really see what's going on, where the mistakes are. Okay, there we go, and it's almost there. In this next round, we're going to close it up even further, and this is your last opportunity to put some stuffing in if you're wanting to. And here we're just going to do a decrease in every single, all the way around. Okay, so let's pick up 2 stitches and close. Let's put our marker there to remind us where we started. Okay, pull it tight. Look for the next stitch. There we go, and the next one. There we go. If you can take 2, that's probably better. 2 strands, should I say. There we go. And we are so nearly finished. Take 2 strands if you can. And as I said, you won't really see too many errors. So don't panic. Just keep going. And pulling gently after each stitch. Okay, and there we go, all the way around. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is perfect. If you've got 6, not a worry. And here we're going to cut and close it. Put your thread through, leaving a bit to sew. I've left quite a long edge there. Now you're going to thread your needle with a plushie yarn and just do a quick close. Okay, so to close, you're going to take the back stitch here, as you can see. Whoopsie. You're just going to go into each of the front loops, should I say, sorry. There's another one, front loop, 1, 2, leaving the legs out of it. There's the next one. It doesn't actually matter if you take both loops. You're just gonna, yeah, sometimes you're going to need to. And you won't see, it's, as I said, very forgiving, this plushie yarn. Okay, all right. And then pull it gently as you go, because this does tend to break fairly easily. Okay, there we go. And then you close it as much as you can. You might have a slight gap in the middle, and then just sew it closed. And that is your octopus made. All we need to do is its little face, which is really nice and quick. Okay, there we go. Let's do one more. There's a bit of stuffing poking through there. Okay, there we go. And then we can cut that off. And there's our little guy. We just need to do the face. This is actually quite a nice soft one. And let's do the face quick. Nice and easy. Okay, so for the face embroidery, we're going to need black and white. And we're going to need more black. So let's thread our needle and make quite a long thread, because we're going to do both eyes and its little mouth. We don't have to do it all in one. But there we go. Let's get going. All right, so what you do, you're going to go in from just off where you want the eye, and you want them to sort of be center-ish, taking up 2 rows. In fact, you can do exactly what you like, but that's what I usually do. Take up 2 rows at least, and you're going to go over this until you are happy with the look. And you can do eyes and a mouth and eyebrows, or you can keep it minimalist and just do eyes. I've done all different looks and they're all very sweet. So it's a personal decision what you're wanting to do. You can even make these eyes bigger over 3 rows. But this is very sweet, I think. And you're going to make them fairly big. Okay, there we go. Let's do this last one. Okay, then you're going to do them about 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches apart. So we're going to come out over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 5. Let's have a look. 4 or 5. That's good. And go ahead and do the next eye. That's 3 rounds. 4. And just make it look the same as the other side. 5. Okay, there we go. And okay, now to do the mouth, we're going to just do a little simple mouth like this one. So we're going to go in and come out where you're wanting it to start, thereabouts. Whoops, thereabouts. Okay, let's have a look how we want it. Sort of there and there. Okay, so let's go in. And it's very easy to quickly backtrack if you're not 100% happy. Okay, there we go. All right, so you could be finished. In most of mine, this is where I am finished. But if you're wanting to go ahead and make some eyebrows, let me see if I can find one with eyebrows. Okay, here's one with eyebrows, which is very sweet as well. Give it some expression. Let's do that so we can quickly do the eyebrows. And another nice addition is to add some white to the side of the eyes on the outside. Also makes it some added interest. It's very sweet. Okay, so let's actually do both of those. Okay, so what we need to do now quickly is carry on with the eyebrows. We've still got some thread left. Let's see how far we can get. Thread it again. Okay, go back in. We want our eyebrows to be just above the eyes, sort of like a stitch above the eyes. So yeah, it's all very much up to you, personal preference, but about there I would say is good. So in there, and then we just try and make them symmetrical, unless you're wanting to add some different expression. There and into there. And then what you do, you make your way back to the start so that you can tie it and hide the thread in your little octopus head. Tie it twice, make a knot, and you're going to cut it off and stuff it in. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. But to finish off, we're going to do the eyes. So you thread your white. Okay, you thread your white, and you can actually make it double. Okay, once again, you go in just off from the eye, go in at the top right hand side. Okay, and then you're very gently just going to put it along the outside, make your way to the other eye at the bottom. There we go, and on the outside again. There we go, and make your way back to where you started. Oh, this is adorable. Okay, that's where we went in, and once again we can cut and tie, and you are completely done. Let me do that and I'll show you the end product. Tie the ends, just make a knot once again, shorten it. I don't know if you know my dilemma with my scissors, can't find them. So we are using nail clippers, which work, thank goodness. And then just take a needle and walk. Okay, and then he is completely done. Move these guys out the way. What I like to do before I sell them is to name them, give each toy a name and some characteristics and some preferences. Like this little whale here, what I've done, you just add a little label. His name is Benita, the blue whale. Has her master's in dietetics, is in her age group CrossFit champ. Is her age group CrossFit champ, and at the back you do an adoption fee, and that's her price. Okay, so that is the completed octopus. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it has been clear enough. Please, if you have any queries, please put them in the comments below and I'll try to get back to you. Yeah, please like and subscribe. If I can get to 100 subscribers, that would be amazing at this stage. So thank you very much for watching till the end. I really appreciate it, and we'll be back soon.